I woke up to nothing but blue, no roads, no trees, no mountains, just an endless, glimmering ocean stretching beyond the horizon in every direction. The earth as I once knew it had vanished. There's no land left, not a single patch. Cities, continents, my childhood home, all swallowed whole by the sea. I don't even know where I am anymore. There are no landmarks, no maps that mean anything. Just me, adrift on a world that has forgotten the meaning of soil. The sun still rises, but it reflects off the water like a mirror. Too bright, too perfect. It's beautiful in a haunting way, like the planet has been polished clean of all our history. But without land, there's no place to anchor a memory. I've been floating on a makeshift raft cobbled together from whatever debris I could find. The salt clings to everything, my clothes, my skin, my hope. I used to take gravity for granted, used to trust the ground beneath my feet. Now, every moment feels like I'm suspended between survival and surrender. There's no place to rest. Sleep is a gamble. Storms roll in without warning, and there's nothing to shield me from the fury of the sky. I've been thinking a lot about how this could have happened. If the Earth's crust collapsed, if the polar ice caps melted beyond prediction, or maybe tectonic forces just gave way. I don't know. But without land, the carbon cycle is broken. Trees are gone, and with them the lungs of the planet. Oxygen is thinning. I can feel it, each breath a little less nourishing than the last. The oceans can't compensate fast enough. Phytoplankton are trying, I think, but it's not enough. I dream of forests now. I can almost smell the soil. Temperature's rising. The ocean absorbs more heat than land ever did, and without the cooling presence of forests or mountains, it's like the atmosphere is suffocating under its own weight. Hurricanes are constant. They circle the globe like wolves, and I've learned to fear the silence before the wind. Food is complicated. The ocean's full of life, but catching it isn't easy when you've got no tools, no net, no way to cook. I've eaten raw fish, seaweed, whatever I can grab before the current pulls it away. I miss the crunch of an apple, the warmth of bread. But the hardest part is the loneliness. I haven't seen another person in what feels like months. I scream sometimes just to hear a human voice. The echoes over the water aren't kind. They come back cold and distant like the ocean itself is mocking me. And yet, in all this chaos, there are moments of awe. When bioluminescent creatures light up the night like constellations below the surface, or when a pod of whales passes by, singing to the stars, I feel like I'm witnessing something ancient, something sacred. Maybe this planet was always meant to be water. Maybe we were the interruption. Or maybe this is a reset, a deep breath from Earth herself. I don't know how long I'll last. The body gets weaker, but the mind, it clings. It remembers. And as long as I can remember what land felt like under my feet, I'll know what it means to be human. But still, I keep drifting, hoping. Somewhere out there, maybe there's still a place where the ocean forgot to rise, a place where land still whispers beneath the waves. And if not, then I'll be the last voice to remember what it was like to stand tall, not float alone. I've stopped measuring time in days. Out here, the concept loses meaning. The sun rises, the sun sets, and somewhere in between, I survive. I've learned to read the moods of the sea, how the color of the sky can foretell the fury of the coming winds, how the patterns of the waves speak a language older than speech. Sometimes I see remnants of the old world float by. A rusted mailbox, a child's toy, a cracked smartphone still clutching its last picture behind a web of shattered glass. These things shouldn't hurt the way they do, but they carry the weight of a lost civilization in their silence. I reach out for them like I'm reaching for ghosts. I remember the sound of footsteps. How strange it is to miss something so ordinary. The dull thud of your heel against the ground, the certainty in every step. Now, each movement is a balancing act, a struggle against the rhythm of the waves. There's no forward here, only drift. The creatures beneath me are thriving in ways we never understood. Coral blooms in the ruins of drowned cities. Schools of fish dart through the hollowed shells of skyscrapers. I once saw a sea turtle glide through what used to be Times Square. Nature doesn't mourn us, it reclaims. But nature is not merciful. With no land to break their journey, tsunamis circle the globe like echoes with no end. And freshwater, precious, vanishing freshwater, is nearly impossible to come by. Rainfall is salvation when it comes. I built a crude system to catch it, storing it drop by drop. Each sip feels like a small miracle. The stars are clearer now, no lights from cities, no smog, no glass towers to block the heavens. I stare at them and wonder if someone out there is watching. Maybe they see what we've become, how a planet once so rich in diversity, in beauty and ambition could be reduced to a blue, drifting sphere lost in its own reflection. Sometimes I whisper names to the ocean, not because I expect an answer, but because I don't want them to be forgotten. My mother, my sister, the friends I used to laugh with. I speak their names into the wind like a prayer, like a promise that someone still remembers. The human spirit is a strange thing. You'd think that, stripped of everything, it would break. But I haven't. Not yet. There's something inside me, maybe madness, maybe hope, that refuses to let go. I dream of land, not for myself anymore, but for the memory of us. For what we were and what we could have been. And if I am the last voice in a world that forgot the ground beneath its feet, then let it echo across the water. Let it be known that once we walked, we built, we loved, and we lost it all, not in a single moment, but in 1,000 silent choices. And still, I float, eyes on the horizon, waiting, watching, dreaming of a shoreline that may never come. But until my breath is taken by the waves, I will carry the memory of land in my bones. And maybe that is enough. Last night the sky cracked open with lightning, and for a moment I could see the ocean lit up like glass. Beneath me, miles down, there were shapes moving, massive, ancient, unknowable. It struck me then, without land to limit them, the deep has become the true ruler of this world. We once thought we were masters of the earth. But now I know we were only guests. I've stopped fearing the ocean. There's a strange peace in surrendering to it, in understanding that it's not my enemy. It just is. Vast, relentless, honest. It takes what it wants, but it gives too, in ways we never respected when the land was ours. I see that now. Today I saw something that made my heart race, a shadow on the horizon. For a moment I thought it was an island, a survivor of the Great Flood. But as I paddled closer, I realized it was the top of a skyscraper, just the tip, rusted and overgrown with seaweed. I climbed onto it, hands shaking, legs weak from months without solid ground. I stood. For the first time in what must be a year, I stood on something that didn't move with the waves. I wept, not because I found salvation. This wasn't a return to land. This was a gravestone, but it reminded me that we had existed, that we weren't a dream the sea swallowed completely. The bones of our world still rise now and then, breaking the surface like memories desperate not to be lost. As I sat there, feet dangling into the water, I thought about how different life could have been if we had listened. Listened to the scientists, the warnings, the rhythms of the planet. But we were loud, arrogant. We paved over the whispers of nature until the ocean roared back. Now silence is my only companion. And yet, even in this solitude, I feel the pulse of the planet more clearly than ever before. I feel its sorrow and its forgiveness. If anyone finds this, know this. We were not invincible, but we were alive. Gloriously, beautifully, recklessly alive. And maybe, just maybe, if another species walks this earth long after the waters settle, they'll learn from our mistakes. They'll love the land and the sea in balance, not in conquest. And if not, then let these words drift forever on the tide, a message in the bottle of time. We were here. We dreamed. We drowned. And still, somehow, we remembered how to hope. So if you're hearing this, if these words have reached your ears from across time, tides, or imagination, let them be more than a story. Let them be a warning. Let them be a mirror. Because the world we knew didn't vanish in a single flood. It faded with every choice we made to ignore the signs, every moment we chose convenience over care, silence over responsibility. You still have land beneath your feet. You still have forests, rivers, mountains, and sky. You still have time, so protect it. Cherish it. Speak up for it. Don't wait for the water to rise before you open your eyes. If this vision moved you, share it. Let others see what could be lost. And more importantly, let them feel what's still worth saving. Subscribe for more stories that don't just entertain, but awaken. Because this planet is more than background. It's the only home we have. And it's not too late if we choose to listen now.